upon entering the room, I perform proper hand hygiene. Good afternoon, Mr. Hughes. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How about you?
Doing well. My name is Daniel. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
May I have a seat?
That's fine.
Thank you. All right. So this is your first time with us, correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, in that case, we're going to be performing a full health history, okay?
Yeah.
So we're going to start out with what brought you here today, and then we're going to move into some past medical history, and then at the end, we're going to collaborate together on a plan, okay?
All right.
All right. So what did bring you in today?
Well, I've been feeling stressed, overwhelmed, kind of like everything's moving fast and I'm moving slow.
Okay. All right. And during this whole time, I'm going to be taking some notes.
Okay.
All right. So you just been feeling down, stressed out, right? And just don't feel like performing your day-to-day activities, correct? All right. So I'm going to ask you a few questions pertaining to this. Okay.
All right.
So how long has this been going on?
It's been pretty constant throughout, with daily life stresses, but it seemed to have gotten worse. I'd say maybe last fall.
Last fall? So what was last fall? What was the event that caused this?
Last fall, I started a new job. I started a new program, the doctorate program at school, and just some family between child and wife issues. So.
Okay. I'm sorry to hear that. I know a new job can definitely be stressful. What do you do?
I'm an ICU nurse.
Okay, where at?
At Revenue.
Okay, I hear that's a good hospital, especially for hearts.
Yeah.
And you said you started your doctoral program. What are you going to be doing with that?
Nurse practitioner.
Awesome. All right. And then the wife and the child dynamics. What's going on there?
Well, I think they don't mesh well sometimes. It's not the child's mother, so it's
okay.
From previous relationship.
Having it integrate.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. And how long has this been going on? You said for about a year, correct?
Yeah, I'd say everything started maybe last fall.
So you've kind of been stressed your entire life, but it's just kind of getting to a breaking point where you kind of think you need help.
A little overwhelming.
Okay.
Past year.
So what do you do to relieve stress?
I just take time to myself. I go to the gym, I work out, I exercise, listen to music, and I try to go to church, but it's been hard working weekends.
Oh, absolutely. All right. What makes it worse?
Just whenever, sometimes we have modules for work due and school at the same time, and then if, things are not going well at home, it seems to, everything usually seems to happen at the same time.
All at once?
All at once.
All right. All right. So how has this affected your daily life?
Well, for instance, this morning, I didn't want to get up and go to the gym. I just didn't feel like it, and so I made myself get up just because that's my routine, and I don't want to break routine. But sometimes I just don't want to do things. I tend to do them, but I just don't feel like it.
Okay. So now we're going to rate this stress on a scale of 0 to 10, and this so we can kind of form a baseline and some goals. Okay.
Okay.
So 0 is going to be I'm on vacation, I'm relaxed. 10 is going to be I'm so stressed out, I could not even get out of bed today, I did nothing. You basically shut down. Okay, so what's the worst this stress has become?
I'd say the worst it's been probably an 8.
An 8. And on average, what would you say it is?
More or less a 6.
6. And what would you think your goal would be?
I'd like to get it down to maybe a 4 if possible. 5 would be okay.
Yeah. 4 or 5. And then, stress is going to be associated with some things like school and a new job and having to get used to those things. So I believe those are going to be acceptable variations for you, correct? Like if it peaked a little bit just because of school, that's fine. But we want to try to control the other life circumstances like the wife and the child, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. All right. So do you have anything else you'd like to add about that? Any other complaints at this time?
Can't think of anything.
Okay. So now we're going to move into allergies, okay? Do you have any food allergies?
None that I know of.
Any environmental allergies like dust or pollen?
When I clean, I notice I get runny, itchy nose, watery eyes, itchy eyes with dust, and then sometimes when I'm outside with pollen, and when pollen's high, I get the same thing.
Do you do anything for that?
I just take over-the-counter Allegra.
Allegra, is it extra strength, long lasting?
Just regular.
All right.
Take it as needed.
As needed, so not a regular basis. And then how severe do those allergies become? Does your throat feel like it's closing?
No, no, it's not say mild. No.
Any other environmental allergies?
No, that's it.
Any medication allergies?
None that I know of.
Okay. All right. So now we're gonna go over some of your medications that you use. Okay. Do you take any medications?
I take Synthroid. I take that daily. It's 112 micrograms, and that's for hypothyroid.
For hypothyroidism? Okay. Do you take any other prescriptions?
No other prescriptions.
Have you ever had any long-term prescriptions before that you stopped taking?
Nothing that was prescribed. I mean, 4 months ago, I was prescribed Imodium and another medication. I don't remember the name, but it was for a bout of diarrhea.
Okay.
And I had it twice, and the second time I went to see someone, and they gave me medicine, but I didn't take it though.
Why?
Because honestly, the day after I got the medicine, it cleared up, so I never started it.
Well, good. It cleared up. No other prescriptions?
No.
Okay. What about over-the-counter medications? You said the Allegra.
Mm-hmm.
Do you take anything else?
Every now and then I take Tylenol. Headaches.
For headaches.
Mm-hmm.
What dosage is that?
That's just regular strength. I take 2 tablets. I think it's 500 milligrams.
How often would you say you take that?
Maybe once a week.
Okay. Any supplements?
Multivitamin.
How often?
I just take it daily.
Daily? 2. Is it gummies?
It is gummies.
You know what brand it is?
I really don't know, but I take the daily recommended dose.
All right. All right. That sounds good. So now we're going to talk about your past medical history, okay? So we've already talked about the hypothyroidism. Are you diagnosed with anything else?
No, nothing else.
Okay. Do you have any surgical history?
In 2001, I had a bone tumor removed from my knee.
Malignant or benign?
It was benign.
Okay.
In 2012, I had been hospitalized. I stayed overnight and had an appendectomy. And then I had my wisdom teeth cut out, but that was probably like 10 years ago. I don't know the exact year.
Any post-op issues like infections with that?
No.
Good deal. All right. So that's the only time you've been hospitalized is for the appendectomy?
Yeah.
All right. Any psychological history? Have you ever been diagnosed with depression, anxiety, suicidal ideations?
I've never been diagnosed with anything. One time I was 18, I made a statement that I was going to kill myself to my mom, and she called paramedics, and they came out and took me in and did an evaluation, and they just turned me loose.
What led up to you saying that?
She was just being overbearing and told me I couldn't see a girlfriend of mine, and so I made those statements.
You've never been suicidal? Never thought about harming yourself? Okay. All right. Now we're going to go over something like your immunizations and stuff.
Okay.
So because of school, you're probably up to date on your immunizations. Okay. When's the last time you had your flu shot?
Just got it today.
Awesome. What about health screenings? How often do you go for a physical?
I get a physical once a year for school.
All right.
And work.
And are they keeping track of your hypothyroidism?
Yeah, I see a doctor for that about every 4 months.
Good deal. All right. All right, let's talk about your family history now. We're going to start with your siblings and then move into your grandparents. So tell me about your siblings and what kind of health issues they have going on.
Well, got a lot of siblings. I got 5 others.
It's an expensive Christmas.
Lucky I don't have to pay for it. So my older sister, she's got hypothyroidism, obviously. It runs in the whole family. And then she recently was diagnosed with hypertension and anxiety, so she was prescribed medications for those. And then the only other one I really know, one of my younger sisters, Jennifer, she's got hypothyroid, and then she got diagnosed with hypertension only with his last child, so she hadn't had it before, so not sure about that. And then my younger sister, Brittany, she's just got hypothyroid.
Okay, so it sounds like hypothyroidism and a little bit of anxiety is kind of trending.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe some hypertension, but more with females. Okay. So tell me about your mother now.
Mother, she's got, I guess, I don't know if she's ever been diagnosed with hypertension, but she's got hypothyroid. She's had extensive cardiac history. She's had a heart attack. I believe she's had some caths done.
A lot of heart issues.
Heart issues, yeah, for sure. And she's a smoker, so she's got COPD. That's really about it on her. I mean, she's had anxiety, depression. She's been diagnosed with anxiety.
Does she work?
No, she's disabled.
What about your father?
Father, we don't really know too much about him. The only thing I really know is he's alcohol and drug use. That's about it.
Okay. So now let's talk about your grandparents, starting with the parents of your mother.
Okay, mother. My grandmother, she had a heart attack in her 30s, and she passed at 38. She was doing during surgery. She had a reaction to some medication.
Was the anesthesia?
I'm not really sure. Father, my mother, she never knew her father. He was never there.
Okay.
So we don't know much about history.
Okay. What about your? Oh, was that all you had to say about that? Okay. What about your father's parents?
Father's parents, my grandmother. All I know is she got diagnosed with cancer and she passed away from that.
Do you know what kind of cancer?
I don't. And then my grandfather on my dad's side, he was an alcoholic, but I don't know anything else about him.
Okay. That'll do for that section. Now let's talk about some of your social life, okay? So how often are you getting out and doing things with friends or going out family activities, anything like that?
I work out 4 times a week when I'm off. Sometimes a friend joins, and then other than that, I get out and study. I try to study outside the house sometimes, just to get different scenery. And then I go out a couple times.
Okay. So you're working out. How often do you said 4 times a week? How long?
I usually do an hour per session.
And then is it intense workouts, moderate workouts?
I'd say more moderate.
Moderate. Okay. Sounds like you're getting pretty adequate exercise. Then that's what we recommend. All right. So you said you're an ICU nurse at which hospital? Redmond. We talked about that.
Yeah,
We talked about
yeah.
the cardiac hospital. All right. Education. You're working on your doctorate.
Yeah.
Have you ever used tobacco before?
I tried it once, probably about 2010. I didn't like it.
And that's why you quit? Okay. What about other drugs like heroin, marijuana, cocaine? Okay. What about alcohol?
Around the same time, 2010, I tried the alcohol. I mean, I guess it's extensive and pretty heavy, maybe, for 8 months, and then I just didn't like the way it made me feel after a while, so I quit.
Good. Considering your family history, that's something that's good to keep staying on top of. Okay. What about military service? Have you traveled outside of the country recently?
In April, I went on a cruise to Bahamas.
Awesome. So that completes most of it. Now we're just going to kind of talk about our plan and make sure we're on the same page, all right? So would you agree with me in saying that you think you might be mild to moderately depressed?
Yeah, you can say that.
Do you think you might be having any anxiety issues with that?
I don't feel it like I do.
Okay. So we're going to go with mild to moderate depression, okay? You definitely have a lot going on. A lot of the stress associated with school and work are pretty normal. I think that's just something you have to learn how to handle, especially because it's new. School, you got to get in a routine. Work, you've got to learn. So maybe just trying to find some better ways to cope with getting ahead on work. I don't know if you do or if you fall behind, but trying to stay ahead of things, keeping up to date with what's going on at school and work, and then with your family dynamics. I think you need to sit down and just get everything out on the table and talk to everybody about how you're feeling, what you're thinking, and how it's affecting you, and see how they feel and what's going on in their life, and see if there's some things you can make some modifications or control. Right now, I don't think you need medication for depression, but we will reevaluate you in 1 to 2 months. We have your baseline, we have your goals, and we'll go from there. And then after the 1 to 2 months, we'll do a 6-month evaluation, and then maybe 1 year, every year after that, or 6 months as needed, and we'll make sure to also be keeping track of your thyroid levels every 4 months. But if anything was to get severe, you start having suicidal ideations, please call 911, or we can always schedule a visit before the next scheduled visit if things are getting rougher, okay? How do you feel about this plan?
Yeah, I'm agreed.
Okay, good. Is there any other things I can help you with right now?
I can't think of anything else.
All right. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Thank you.